I remember the night clearly. The night I asked my wife the question that had been haunting me for months. We were sitting at the dining table, plates untouched, the silence between us louder than any argument could ever be. Her phone lit up with yet another notification, and she smirked to herself before setting it down. That smirk, that cold detachment, had become her trademark. Finally, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I looked her straight in the eye and asked, "Sophia, why did you even marry me?" For a moment, she just stared back, her expression unreadable. Then, with the kind of cruelty only someone who once promised to love you can muster, she leaned back in her chair and said, "Because I had no better choice." The words hit me like a punch to the chest. No better choice. I had spent years believing we were partners, believing our love meant something. And now she was telling me I had been nothing more than a placeholder, until someone better came along. I felt the blood drain from my face, my heart hammering against my ribs. All the nights I had stayed up waiting for her to come home, all the sacrifices I made to support her career, every memory of laughter and intimacy. It all came crashing down in that single moment. She saw my reaction, and instead of softening, she smirked again. "Don't look so shocked, David. You're decent enough, but let's not pretend you were ever my dream. You were convenient, stable, safe. That's all." The air in the room felt poisonous. I stood up slowly, gripping the edge of the table just to steady myself. I wanted to scream, to throw something, to demand why she had wasted my years if she felt this way. But instead, a cold clarity settled over me. I walked to the study, pulled out the folder I had been quietly preparing for months, and laid the divorce papers on the table between us. "Thank you for being honest, Sophia. Because now so am I. This marriage is over." Her smirk faltered. For once, she didn't look so sure of herself. Sophia's eyes flickered to the papers, then back to me, her smirk wavering into something sharper, defensiveness. "Divorce? Don't be ridiculous, David. You're not actually serious." But I was. For months, I had been quietly preparing for this moment, gathering bank statements, securing my accounts, making sure the house was legally in my name. Her words tonight hadn't broken me. They had freed me. I sat back down, keeping my voice calm. "You just admitted it yourself. You married me because you had no better choice. That's not love, Sophia. That's not even respect. And I refuse to be your safety net any longer." She scoffed, crossing her arms. "Oh please. You think you can just throw me away after everything I've done for you? Who cooked for you, cleaned for you, stood by your side?" I let out a bitter laugh. "Stood by my side? Sophia, you've been gone more nights than you've been home. You roll your eyes when I talk, you mock me in front of your friends, and now you've admitted you settled for me because no one else wanted you at the time. That's not partnership. That's humiliation." Her mask of superiority cracked, anger flashing in her eyes. "So you're really going to end it? Just like that? After all these years?" I leaned forward, my gaze steady. "Not just like that. I've been ending it quietly in my heart for a long time. Tonight, you just gave me the final push." Her phone buzzed on the table. She reached for it quickly, but not before I caught the name lighting up the screen, Ethan. The pieces I had been ignoring finally snapped into place. The late nights, the secretive smiles, the way she guarded her phone like it was made of gold. I shook my head slowly. "So that's the real reason, isn't it? There was always someone better in your eyes. You just didn't have the courage to admit it until now." Her face went pale, but she didn't deny it. That silence told me more than any confession could. For the first time in years, I felt strangely at peace. Hurt, yes. Betrayed, absolutely. But also free. Sophia finally found her voice, but it was no longer smug. It was shaky. "David, wait, you're overreacting. Ethan is just a friend. You're twisting things." I smiled sadly. "Friends don't make someone hide their phone, Sophia. Friends don't cause a wife to come home at midnight and say her husband should be grateful she even bothered. I may have been blind before, but not anymore." She opened her mouth to argue, then shut it again, realizing I wasn't the same man she had toyed with for years. The power dynamic had shifted, and she felt it. I picked up the divorce papers and placed them gently into her hands. You don't need to worry about finding a better choice anymore. You're free to be with whoever you want. But you won't be my burden any longer." Her eyes glossed with anger, and maybe even fear. "You'll regret this. You can't manage without me. You're nothing without me." I laughed quietly, shaking my head. "No, Sophia. I became nothing with you. Without you, I finally get to be someone again." For a moment, the room was filled only with the sound of her shallow breathing. She looked at me like she didn't recognize me, as if the meek husband she had taken for granted had been replaced by someone unshakable. I stood, walked to the door, and opened it wide. "Go on, Sophia. Ethan's waiting." Her jaw clenched, her pride refusing to let her beg or explain. She grabbed her bag, stormed out, and the echo of the door closing behind her sounded less like an ending and more like a release. That night, as I sat in the silence of my own home, I realized something profound. She hadn't just freed herself, she had freed me. I no longer carried the weight of being someone's last resort. I no longer had to prove my worth to a woman who never truly valued me. The next morning, I called my lawyer, and for the first time in years, my voice didn't tremble. I was done being an option. From now on, I'd be my own choice. And as for Sophia, she would learn soon enough that treating someone like a consolation prize always comes with a price. Losing them forever.